we're back for day 2 of Ascot. Day 1 was a success, I think we can say. 3 wins, 2 seconds, and a third. That's not too bad. And I'm just going to go straight into it. I'm going with Presidential each way in the first. He was just deadly last Saturday. He ran a good race, broke away nicely. He's in a competitive race here, and I'm hopeful that he'll place because the lads are great to own him. Presidential pick anyway.
Yeah, last Saturday, he gave us all a good run.
Really.
I think Roger's horses are in good form at the minute. With Ben's riding super. I know he takes the ride on the other next other horse in the race, but no, look at it. Prez, it's a big step up, and he's going from 7 furlongs up to a mile, so he likes to be held up. So I'd say we could be hopeful, of a good run. I'm sure that's all we could want, really, isn't it?
That's all we can hope. Hopefully we get a place now, but we'll be hoping anyhow.
Yeah. And
the draws a bit against us.
Yeah, and if you look there recently at Nick's record, since racing resumed, he's had a fantastic start. Probably better than he could have hoped for. He's really had a superstar, and Dandala won the first day, and then he had what do you call it? Horse of his that won a Pontefract there a couple of days ago as well. It was a nice one.
Wasn't Clary Blue, no?
No, Clary Blue then also ran a good race, who's entered later on in the week as well. He's got Rising Sands running.
Yeah.
And Presidential, he won for him as well. So
yeah.
Nick's had a good start to the delayed season, shall we say. And, having spoke to Nick on Saturday, he's a real down-to-earth guy, and for anybody looking for an opportunity to get involved at very reasonable prices. I'm not sure what kind of shares he's left in any of his horses, but
I think he has Zeham, who ran yesterday.
Yeah.
I think he still has 2.5% left in that, but that's a really reasonable price. It's 350 quid for the year, no monthly fees, nothing. It's unbelievable price to get involved in the racing.
To get involved, yeah, definitely. And for anybody looking, it's a good way to get involved at a fraction of the cost, and to give yourself a good run for the year. Nick's very reasonable guy to deal with. Always good with his updates and his emails. Keeps everybody well informed. So anybody that's definitely looking for an opportunity, hit Nick up, and I'm sure he'll look after you.
Yeah, he's looked after us anyway. That's for sure.
He has, yeah, definitely. My first pick is going to be in the 150. I'm going for Russian Emperor here. I think he'll be suited by a strong pace, and I would say he might get that in this race. He, in his last 2 races, he's come from near the back of the field and finished off really, really strong when winning at Nice and when coming runner-up last week at Leopardstown. Now, last week's run at Leopardstown, you probably had a wee eye on Royal Ascot, so they weren't maybe overly too hard on him. One of the stable companions won the race, so I'd say here he has Aiden as another horse in the race. I think New World Tapestry, I think it is. So I can see him making the pace and Russian Empire picking them off late.
Yeah,
he's 11-4 in that race. Anybody that's interested.
I've gone against you there, Dean, in that race. My second pick is First Receiver in that race, the 150. He's 9-4 here. I think he's special. He went straight into my tracker after the last race. He won that very comfortably. And I put a little comment beside that saying this horse will definitely win a group race. And sure enough, he's here in a Group 3 race now, next time out. And I think he's deserved favourite. And I think Frankie's riding him. If Frankie can get, into the stride that he wants to be in for Royal Ascot, I think he'll win.
Yeah, my only concern with him really would be that the race he won the last time at Kenton was a good drop back in standard compared to what he's racing against here. And Russian Empire's been runner up in the Derrinstown Stud Derby trial back home, which has been regarded as a really good race in years gone by for horses heading to the Derby. So I would just, the only question mark I would have over maybe Russian Empire is how well has he come out of the race, or how much has it taken out of him. But
Mhm.
the only question I would have about Frankie's mount is, to step up in class, really.
Yeah, it is a step up in class, but just the way he won that was just it was out of this world. And
Yeah,
for me, it's my bet today. Anyway, I
yeah.
have him in a treble for Ascot. I had Frankly Darling himself and Skeptical in the treble. And for me, I think I class that as my dead sort of treble, but sure, we'll see how it goes. Anyway, it's my
Yeah,
second leg of it.
yeah, definitely. I'm going to go for the Ascot 225 race for my second pick. Bodyline for Sir Mark Prescott and Luke Morris. Um, I would say this is good value each way at 17 to 2. I see a few quid knocking about for already tens backed into 17 to 2. It's not a wild significant amount of change, but whenever you're riding off a low weight, I think Luke Morris is in there off 8 stone 6. And then big handicaps, sometimes it can play into your hands if you have a nice low weight. He was second last time out 2 weeks ago, and being by Australia, the trip probably is going to suit him. And he's been lightly raced in these last two seasons, well, this being his second season now. So I would say he represents good value there at 17 to 2 for me in the second race, or my second pick.
Yeah. My third pick, I think O'Brien has the winner in the 410. It's the inform Chief Little Hook. He was incredible at Navan last time. He was such a machine, like to go, and ended up being comfortable enough winner. I think it won by a length and a half. But I'm definitely going to have a crack at this 9-2. I'd actually be shocked if it didn't win. And if it doesn't, I'll actually wear a suit for the next one.
Well, I'm wearing black and white representing the presidential colours there, so.
Yeah,
I
you may
actually
wear
like
that
one.
tomorrow.
Oh, you never know. If he wins or comes anywhere near a place, sure, we'll see. We might wear it. I'm going for one on the 410 also. It's a hot juvenile race. One of the first real good races of Ascot for the 2-year-old. Um,
Yeah,
I like tactical in it for Andrew Baldwin. Although Washington Murphy's on one for Wesley Ward in the race. He rode him last time at Newmarket about 2 weeks, I think it was 14 days ago. First time out. He broke slightly slowly, but he recovered and he got racing okay, and he sat in about fifth. It was prominent enough, and coming inside the final furlong, he just tried to go for a gap, and the other horse on his right hand side just kind of hung left a wee bit and bumped him, and Oisin had to take a wee pull, and he lost his momentum and everything. But I think he was very careful on him inside the remaining furlong then. So he's drawn in stall 20, and yeah, I would say if he gets out, if he breaks well, gets out, he will definitely be thereabouts come the finish because he shouldn't meet much traffic. I think 20 might be along the rails, if not directly on the rail, one or two off the rails. So, I think he might put up a good show at 13 to 2.
and we've seen an awful lot of bias towards the high draw there today. And do you think that'll continue tomorrow?
Well, the, in the straight course, they normally seem to come up the stands rail, or the stands rail, and for on whenever they start on the round course, it's always the other side. So I would say you might see a lot of them coming up the stand side. So the higher draws again could have a factor in it. And just there, another reason that I like tactical. Andrew Baldwin is on a strike rate of 18% for the last 2 weeks, and James Doyle, who rides today, is on 20%. So jockey and trainer both in form. That worked for me yesterday with Aiden and Circus Maximus with Rymer, and then for Jim Crowley and John Gosden in my second selection today. I'm sure we were unlucky whenever Verdana Blue just popped for first.
Yeah.
by Coeur de Leon, who came thundering down the outside. So
Yeah,
it
absolutely
was
flying down yesterday.
uh, it was a good enough day yesterday for the selections of mine. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get 1-1 or anyway. Be if
Yeah,
we could
well,
get
we've
two,
two
be
and
happy.
we've won each in two of the races, so
Well, needs to do the
hopefully,
races. So hopefully we're on the premises anyway, sure, and they're good value in there, even for each way betters. I know you would have to be betting big, but if sometimes in there 13-2 and 11-4, so a wee draft on the first one might push them each way value.
and just mentioning there, Ryan Moore, he got a 2-day ban. What do you think about like all this? People are calling out for if Jockey gets banned, he should lose the race. Do you think like that should maybe come in? Like being that close of a finish.
It's a hard one to call. It really,
Isn't it?
really is, because I've watched a lot of racing over the last couple of weeks since it's returned, and one thing I am very baffled by, shall we say, is the commentators and the stewards in England. Like, if a horse, for instance, I mind watching a race at Newcastle maybe last week, and the horse drifted from the left hand side of the track as the horse is running, about, I would say, 7 horse widths over to the other side of the rail, and now the horse in second was beat, I'd say, neck. But he took him from very left
Yeah.
over onto the right. Like, nobody can say that. Like, the commentator at the time says that he can't see it being overturned because there's no real, issue with it. But he's took the horse off a true line. If that horse runs straight,
Yeah.
might be a different result. But
Yeah.
again, it wasn't overturned. But I did see an article recently by Kevin Blake, who was on about, it was careless riding somewhere, and whenever you watched the piece, or the video of it really baffles you how that these people are allowed to get away with it, because at the end of the day, what's going to happen? What's it going to take to happen for something to
Yeah.
change? Careless riding is careless riding, and it should be dealt with, because at the end of the day, it's all about safety. It's the safety of the horses, the safety of the jockeys.
But you look at Dundalk there, the fight is bumping Dundalk and you nearly lose the race. Like the stewards over here, I don't know, they're a bit more like say fair more than anything. In a
They
way.
are, they are, and they aren't in a way. But all you want, or all anybody would want, is for them to do their job properly. If it's careless riding, it's careless riding.
100%.
If it's excessive use of the whip, it's excessive use of the whip. You have
Yeah.
to get a ban. You know, whether or not,
But do you think, because obviously Moore used the whip excessively, do you think that gave him that slight edge over Tarabellum today, considering it was just a head?
you would have to imagine it would,
Mm.
because Frankie passes him, and then,
Yeah.
Ryan comes
I,
back to pass him and beat him by a head. But, it would be very, they
do you
would
think
have
it's a
to,
bit strange that they banned Moore but they didn't overturn the race? Like, I can see where a lot of people are coming from where they're calling that out.
no, I would say that's probably, you know, the band is probably the right thing, but, it's hard to overturn a race whenever there's so many other rules that
Yeah.
gets broken that they don't stick to, and they don't, they would have to fix the majority of things before they could fix, or they could say you've lost a race for excessive use of the whip. As I say, like, if your horse is really badly hampered, And 9 times out of 10, it's not overturned. Whereas if the stewards were a wee bit stronger and looked at it and thought, yeah, there is significant interference there to knock that horse off line or whatever, and then they started ironing out, you know, the other rules, I think they could come a lot stricter and things like that. But for now, I think that the ban is probably fair enough.
Justifiable. Like,
Yeah.
that's that.
Thought Batash won well after we gave him a 0 for 3. We thought he wouldn't run well.
Yeah,
He
two of us
absolutely,
both writing him off completely, and he goes and
yeah,
does that.
yeah. But in saying that, like, Liberty Beach, I put up, like, give a good race in third, like, so
Came third, did he?
yeah, I was happy
Well, then
enough
we
with
had
that,
two
like,
thirds.
2 thirds, and we were we were unlucky.
We definitely were. We had a few post hitting ones there today. Hit the post a couple of
Definitely,
times.
yeah,
Do you
100%.
think Skeptical would have bet Batash had he have went to the King stand?
Before the race, I would have said that Skeptical would have hacked up,
Yeah,
but
I would have
seeing the way
said so.
Batash ran, I can see now why
Yeah,
they sidestepped it and went to the Diamond Jubilee, because I was just checking there before we started this. He's still 5-2 for the Diamond Jubilee.
he's actually 2-1 in a lot of places.
Yeah, like I, I might be biased and all that, but I think he's going to take a hell of a lot of beating in that. Like,
I believe so too. I know, like, we get along with the Hilltop lads and we'd be fairly friendly with them, but like, that's just a different animal to what like to what everything else is in that field. Like, he made some group horses look muck in his last race. Like,
yeah, like
there were horses that were placing in Group Ones, and he destroyed them.
I seen the interview that Dennis Hogan done, and he actually didn't have any fears about him going on grass. He actually thought he would improve. Where a lot of people were writing him off, saying, "Oh, he's only won a couple of average handicaps at
Yeah,
Dundalk and a maiden or whatever." And that's nothing. It's a big test now against these. But he absolutely blitzed them.
he really did.
And it didn't look like he was too worried about turf there.
Yeah,
The grass there. He absolutely hosed up, and it took him a good bit to pull up after, so he had plenty left in the tank by the looks of things. And the few extra days rest, now having missed today and going on
yeah,
Saturday, he can only play to his benefit as well.
has to like. But the horses here aren't much better than what he bet in Ace. They'd be
No,
slightly up. Next one down, Hello Usman, is it?
yeah, hello,
He'd
you
be.
training.
He's the best out of that field, other than
Yeah,
Skeptical, and I think Skeptical will win that so easily.
I think Skeptical probably could give another Batash showing where he
I'd say
blitzes the
so.
field by three,
Yeah.
4 lengths.
I'd say he
And,
will win by a couple of times.
and under Frankie, no better man for the job, really.
Yeah, 100%.
Great decision.
It's a bit sad for Joey, but
It
if you
is.
were to replace anyone like that, you'd want Frankie on him.
It really is. It's a shame for Joey because he gets on well with the horse. And in fairness to uh, James Goff and James McCauley and the Hilltop lads, like they've let Joey keep the ride on him, which shows how much support and faith they have in Joey. They ride one of their best horses. You know, not many 7 pound claimers get the chance to ride. You know, it's
One of
just
the best bred
unfortunate that they
horses.
can't that they can't ride him in Ascot.
Yeah.
But whenever the big races are maybe at the Curragh or Leopardstown, I'm sure
Well,
Joey
God
will be
knows, maybe
back on board.
France he might be over.
Yeah, hopefully Joey gets the chance then because it'll be a massive stepping stone in his young career.
I'm sure he will, though, because I know the Hilltop lads, they really respect their jockeys and they wouldn't not give them the first choice for it.
Yeah,
If they
and
weren't available, then they'd go look for someone else, but they'd
yeah,
100% go to either Joey or Joe.
yeah.
loyal. But yeah, Frankie can't complain.
No, definitely not. And you know what? As I say, like personally, I really hope that Skeptical comes out and hoses up because the lads deserve it for
They
you
really do.
know the support and stuff. Like I've been at Dundalk a few times, and the three lads are there every week. Three or four lads of
Every
them
week.
are there every
I'd be
Friday
at the
night.
dog. I'd be at the dog most weeks. I'd say
Yeah,
nearly every week, if not every second week, and they're always there. And you can go up to them if you wanted to and have a chat with them. They're just standing at the rail. They're not in an
yeah,
owner's box or anywhere. They're just out there about. Go up to
yeah,
them if you want. Like they're proper down to earth lads.
yeah. And like they deserve the best of luck because of I just seen the other day it popped up on their memories of their first winner under an apprentice, Ben Curtis at the time. I think that was many years ago. Was that 10?
10, yeah.
I think it was 10 years ago. Like so, they've been in the game for a good while. So for them to have a favourite with a massive chance at Royal Ascot, they deserve every bit of luck that they're going to get, and hopefully they get it.
And they were unfortunate last year. They went to Royal Ascot with Kerrison. Unfortunately, obviously, what happened to him at Galway
Yeah,
was quite unfortunate for them because they rated him so highly. They thought, like, this is the best horse we're probably ever going to have. And
yeah.
then Skeptical came along and they were happy out. Like,
And no doubt that next year or the year after they'll have something just as good because they'll be able to find it because as you say, the lads know how to go through the books and they know how to find them and where to find them.
I know particularly they're fond of Dalvey, who's coming in. I think he
Yeah,
ran his first, I think he came fifth or sixth or something.
yeah.
But
And he's got a nice pedigree as well.
they're very confident on him.
He's a very nice pedigree as well. He's by Dan Silly, I think it is, and I've seen it. Now, you know, and a Juddmonte cast off. So,
Yeah.
you know, for a first run, you look at Skeptical's first run all the way around third, yeah. But that run that Dalby put on the other day, he'll definitely improve from it.
And I know for a fact that he didn't cost him an arm and a leg either. He went for fairly cheap.
Well, they deserve the luck with them because at the end of the
Yeah,
day, if they're willing to buy them and nobody else is, then
exactly.
fair play to them.